Hi everyone, welcome back. Today is more of a story time, and I think from my story time, I hope you learned something, but I'm also going to share some lessons that I learned from this story. So, this is lessons that I learned from my recent dentist visit, or let me say, my new dentist that I found because trust me, I've been through dentists and yeah, let me tell the story, you'll understand why, right? But how I discovered her. My plan was when I had my little one, I was like, yo, I'm gonna be that mom who takes their kid to the dentist from age 2. Make sure he's got his bookings, he's cleaned his teeth, and he does regular visits at the dentist, right? So, with me, on the other hand, right, obviously growing up, we all come from our own disadvantages, but I know that I didn't have too many visits at the dentist, and obviously, probably it's obviously because of medical aid and all of that, right? So, I won't delve into that. But anyway, when he turned 2, it was in the thick of the pandemic, right? So then, like, I was just too scared to do anything. I think we all had that part where we were a bit scared, and then we got fine with the whole situation, and then we knew we have to live with this, right? So that's how I discovered her. Sorry, that how I discovered her. So I'm still getting there. So obviously it was thick of the pandemic, but when he turned 5, when he was 5, which was last year, when he was 5, obviously his teeth started coming out. But with his first tooth that needed to come out, it shook for a long time until it just stuck there and didn't want to come out, like it was even getting skew or something like that. So when that happened, I was scared to take it out. Eventually, I tried, and it just wouldn't come out. So I was like, let me find a dentist close by, who my medical aid will cover, and I'll just take him there to just have it extracted because like I can't. And then he was also getting frustrated that it's not coming out, and it's just not looking great. So anyway, found this dentist, and that's where we went. But funny story is, on that day we had to go to the dentist. His tooth eventually came out, but then we just went for a cleaning. So that's how I discovered this dentist. Now, my story. So, like I shared previously, I'm not a person who went to the dentist often at my young age. So it's not something that was practiced for me. And what would happen then when obviously started working, then you have medical aid. Um, I would go to the dentist only when I needed to, right? And obviously, when I did go, they'd also do the cleaning, and then that was it. And then the dentist would tell me, please book your next appointment for maybe fillings. And chances are I'd go back to the office and I'd forget about it, or I'd know I have to do it until I forget that I had to do it, right? So that happened, and then I moved jobs, and then next thing I'm trying to find a dentist closer to where I work because now I need a dentist because now I've got a toothache and so forth. So I'd always go when I needed to, and if the dentist would tell me book your next appointment for this, and this, chances are I'll forget. So this new dentist, right? Like I said, I first took my little one. Took my little one because the tooth had miraculously gotten out on the day that we were supposed to go to the dentist. We then did a teeth cleaning. But what she did, she didn't say to me, bye bye, go home, book your next appointment. Before you even leave, she's like, okay, I think with my son, was it 6 months or something like that? I don't remember, right? She's like, okay, your next appointment will be in this and this date, and she books it in. So it's penciled in before I leave the dentist. So we already had penciled in the next appointment for my son. Oh, okay, cool, that's how she works. Eventually, I plucked up the courage to then say, let me book my appointment for a teeth clean, because after, like, with the pandemic happening, I also got scared to go to the dentist, because I think, like I said, I knew I had to book, and then the pandemic happened, and I was too scared to even do, like, to even go anywhere for that matter. So I was thinking about being at the dentist, my mouth open, COVID. So that's where I was. So eventually I plucked up the courage. I told her, no, man, I need to book my appointment. Told her I need to book my appointment. Eventually, I think when I went for one of my son's appointments, I'm like, no, man, let me book my own appointment as well. So I booked in my appointment for a teeth cleaning. After my appointment for teeth cleaning, so I had to be checked by a different dentist, because she does more kids, and then she's like, no, only once referred to her by someone else, but they're in the same office, right? Did my teeth cleaning, and obviously they were like, okay, you need to look at this and this and this. Before I left, it was already penciled in. It was not a matter of go home, book on this and this date. This, no, it was already booked. So I knew as soon as I left the dentist, I knew this is when I'm coming back. So this for me was like an aha moment at some point. Like, oh, if what if I treated my finances like that, right? So number one is, like, what if I treated my finances like that in terms of the times that I actually sit and look or reconcile, do a recon of what I've budgeted, what I needed to do versus what I actually did, right? What if I literally penciled it down or wrote it down somewhere, or put a reminder in my diary to say, okay, today it's recon day, for example. So if that would happen, then guess what? It would remind me, and I'd actually have to do it, instead of saying, I'll do it, I'll do it, I'll do it, I'll do it. So that for me was like, okay. And then another thing was like savings, for example. So what if with our savings as well, we literally pencil it in somewhere, whether it's on our phones, because we're constantly on our phones, whether it's in your diary on Teams, if most of us work remotely, or we have Teams available and at our disposal. What if we put it in there in our diary that now it's the day that I either reconcile, now is the day for me to move my savings, or even automate it for that matter, right? So automate it to go off on a certain day, so that anything happens, rain or shine, your savings have gone out, because you've penciled it in, or you've automated it for that matter with savings, right? Um, Another thing is, with money, right? What we need to do, right, is set a date, right? In our relationships, they say to keep your relationships fire going, right? You need to set aside date night or something like that, right? So again, if it's penciled in somewhere, or if it's in everyone's diary, or if it's in everyone's calendar, guess what? No one will forget that Wednesday is date night or whatever else, right? So then you pencil it in, you have your date with your finances, where you're sitting, you are checking in, you are rubbing out, you are taking the things that are done, you are um, also communicating about the conflicts that you're having with each other. Like, okay, no, man, why do I keep overspending here? How can I make it better? What do I do? So for me, the lesson was, especially if I need to do something, I'm actually booking it in before I leave the session. So before you leave your recon session, you're already setting the next recon session, so that you know that it's a consistent thing. And if your recon is quarterly, set it up for the next quarterly date and actually get it done. Then we don't have a problem where we have our budget, we're not sticking to it, we're not meeting some of our obligations, because we're just not getting to it. We're just not reconciling, because guess what? You left the reconciliation today, and you actually just didn't plan for the next one. So I think for me that was an aha moment. And in terms of our finances, let's do the same. Let's pencil in. And if you're gonna say no, I'll do it, guess what, it'll never get done. I think there's a saying that goes that something that's written down will sort of saying, sorry, something that you write down, chances are you'll remember it far greater than something that you think you're putting at the back of your head to say, oh, I'll get it done, right? So write it down or put it in a calendar, it pops up, you do it, right? And then we just keep doing this thing. Like I said, if your recon is quarterly, make sure that, for example, 1st of Jan, you did your recon. Uh, April, you do your next recon, stuff like that. So for me, that's a lesson that I hope that you learn from this. And I think it goes to every facet of life. I mean, if you put in a calendar notes, if you write it down, guess what? It's gonna happen. If you don't, like my dentist appointments that never happen, it's not gonna happen. But because I leave the dentist now with my new dentist, I leave the dentist knowing when my next appointment is. Recently, I went for another filling, and she's like, "Oh, your next wash or mouth or cleaning, right? Teeth cleaning, sorry. You did your last one in November. So when is your next one? Oh, it's in May." I'm like, oh, yes, yes, yes. When I left the last time, I actually booked it. So guess what? It's going to happen because my appointment is in their books, and it's not going to be something that I don't do or I forget to book. It's gonna happen because it's already in their books. Before I even left, I knew. So even with our finances, I speak to myself too. Even with our finances, if we can do the same way, we're saying, for example, if my budget is something that I do maybe a day before payday or 5 days before, in terms of I know more or less what I'm gonna get, pencil it in, put a reminder somewhere so that you know that on when 5 days left within a month, I know that I'm doing my budget and I'm being able to check in with the previous one. If it's a recon day, I can check, I can recon and say, what did I expect to do? What did I do? Where can I change? And you'll be able to improve your finances because you're constantly improving your system, or constantly go back and seeing, is my system working? Where can I tweak it? And you tweak it as you must. So yeah, it's not that long of a video, not too many lessons. I hope that for you as well, it's an aha moment in terms of keeping yourself keeping yourself accountable, keeping yourself accountable by constantly penciling in or putting a reminder or ensuring that things that need to be done when it comes to your finances are in some book or some form of reminder so that you get it done and you don't forget to do it, or don't say I will do it and never getting to it. So yeah, let's continue on our healthy net worth journey, and let's keep ourselves accountable. Let's remind us. Let's put those reminders in. Let's block it in our diary. If blocking it in your diary is what helps you remember, block it in your diary. If writing it down on paper is what helps you remember, or sticky notes or a board, do that and do it often so that we improve and we continue to get to a healthy net worth. So more than anything, I hope this video was helpful to you. I know to me the aha moment is something that I need to use, and it's something that I will continuously practice. Have those date nights, have those recon days, put it down, and yeah, we'll see how we went as the year goes, because yeah, we're still optimistic, right? We're still looking forward to what we can do financially and otherwise. So I hope it was helpful. Please do share, please do like, subscribe if you have not already. We do want to grow. So yeah, see you on the next one. Bye.